In this video, we're going to go over the top 5 problems that we have found with this 10th generation Toyota Corolla. Now, there's nothing wrong with this vehicle. There's nothing wrong with buying one or owning one. All vehicles have their problems. These are just the top 5 that we have found. Number 1, the Evap charcoal canister. It's located right here in the back of the vehicle. This has to do with the emission system. Now, if something goes wrong with this, whether it clogs up or it leaks or you have another issue or it's full of fuel, you're not going to feel any symptoms driving the vehicle. You're just going to get a check engine light with an Evap code telling you there's something wrong with it. So the common codes you might get with this would be a P0441 or a P0455. Now, because of this location, it's actually very easy to do. If you have one of those codes, most likely this is the culprit, but you just take off these bolts holding the bracket up. There's a couple bolts over here. Take off some of these hoses. Now, there shouldn't be any fuel in here. If fuel got into here, then the canister is not going to be good. But definitely should not be any fuel in here. It should be just for the fuel vapors. Now, whenever you have a check engine light with an Evap code, the first thing you want to do is check the gas cap. Before you go replacing any parts, just grab it, wiggle it, take a look at it, and then just check that seal. See if there's any dry rot on that seal. If there is, you got to replace it. And when you tighten it, if it doesn't feel like it gets tight, it needs to be replaced. Number 2, the throttle position sensor, or the throttle body. It's located right here on the intake of the engine, and this is what opens the throttle plate to allow more airflow into the engine. So as you accelerate, as you step on the gas, that will open the flap, and there's a sensor inside here on this side. Most of the time these sensors aren't replaceable, but when that sensor messes up, the computer can't compensate and doesn't know exactly where the throttle body is. So you may end up with some drivability issues. It may have an erratic idle or a low idle or high idle, or even while you're going down the road, the vehicle may shift abnormally. Now, you may also get a check engine light with a throttle position code. In that instance, cleaning the throttle body is not going to fix your problem. You just need to replace it. Number 3, the starter motor. Now, it's located right in the front of the motor right here. What you'll find with symptoms with the starter is the vehicle won't start, but importantly, the engine isn't cranking when you're trying to start. You may hear a click or you may hear nothing at all. Now, whenever you have this condition, the best thing to do is start with the battery. Just double check, make sure the battery's up to par, make sure it's fully charged before you even go to diagnose for a bad starter. Now, if you're in a jam, you're in a position where you need to get the vehicle home or to a repair shop. If you take a hammer and give the starter a tap while someone is cranking the vehicle, that might get you by just to get the vehicle started so you can drive it somewhere to have it repaired. Number 4, strut mounts. Now, the front strut mounts are located right here and one on the other side, and they wear out over time. Some of the symptoms you may notice while you're going down the road over bumps, you may hear a clunking noise coming from this area of the vehicle, or obviously on the driver's side as well. Now, you definitely want to check out the rest of your front suspension, check to make sure ball joints and everything is tight, tie rod ends, and also sway bar links. But this is a common area, especially if the noise is coming from up high. This is probably your issue. Number 5, window regulators. Now, the window regulator is inside the door panel. Behind that, that is what makes the glass go up and down. And the common problem with that is some of the bolts loosen up. And as they loosen up, they destroy the regulator itself. And the window could actually fall down and actually break. To replace that, you're definitely going to have to take the door panel off to access that. Now, if you're going along and you hear the window rattling around, don't ignore that. Definitely, you want to take the door panel off and check those bolts and nuts and make sure everything's tight before you have a serious problem. So those are the top 5 problems that we have found with this Toyota Corolla. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel, ring that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our videos.